Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. This video is about why dating is permanently ruined. Permanently ruined. The only chance, say, a female has, for example, is to rally to me, obey God through me, and to be chosen by me. Other than that, there are not going to be any dates worth having. Just idiots wasting their time. Bear with me, you'll see that I'm right. First point I want to make is that dating was ruined by the masses of people, by everybody except for me. As much as this is like an extreme claim in the minds of some people, it is clearly true. And if you think about the types of people there are in society and everyone you've ever come across, it should be obvious to you because you have to ask yourself, what do they do to prevent dating from being ruined? And what makes for a good date? So now let's look at it in terms of females and nerds. The vast majority of females are clearly not smart women. The vast majority of females are clearly not smart women. Now, I think I should say it this way, and it's important, so bear with me. It's not misogynistic to say this, because I'm not saying every female that ever lived was, something that they all weren't, which is a dumb bitch. But I'm going to have to say that the vast majority of females are dumb. Dumb. Dumb fucking bitches. Dumb. Once a female came up to me and she said that she believed guys are dogs and females are bitches, and she said that that's just how it is. Well, let's look at this thing here. First of all, let's look at a gay parade. If everyone acted like a gay parade, would it be a silly society? A purposeless society? A stupid society? Would some idiots say, hey, it's artistic, while everyone's wasting their time? Yes, so we have that point of reference. If you look up what a nerd is in the dictionary, you get boringly studious, worthless, and a foolish and contemptible person. So someone who's boringly studious, someone who's worthless, and someone who's foolish and contemptible. Because of the internet, because of nerds breeding through corporations, what have you. A lot of people can't afford things, nerds can, so the amount of nerdy kids have exploded in the last 20 years or so. Okay, and so what is happening as a result? There's foolish and contemptible and worthless people everywhere. Does the nerd have the option to stop being a bitch and to scramble and obey God through me if they know about me? Yes, they have an option to try to work the angles and try to be something other than a nerd and try to at least try their hardest to not be a nerd. Yes. If they embrace being a nerd, are they stupid? Yes. So another one of my points is that there's a thin line between a nerd and a dumb fucking bitch. And in a sense, almost every nerd is a dumb fucking bitch. So what happens when you get some dumb gold-digging bitch and some nerdy, foolish, and contemptible, worthless, geeked out, dweeb-ass dork of a dumb fucking bitch, and they go on a date? Well, it's not exactly the pinnacle of romance, that's for sure. Imagine, Pinky and the Brain on a date with two gold-digging bitches. On a double date if it makes you feel better. Fucking retarded. Retards dating retards. Now, when they organize to persecute me, it gets worse. Now, I'm not saying that nerds are the only ones doing it. They're very much involved in it. But I'm not saying they're the only ones who are persecuting me and the only ones who are social engineering. One of the main points of references we have here in America for people who are trying to use the nerd dynamic to try to seem superior, unfairly, mind you, is the kind of English royals. You'll see people trying to look like they're smooth in a suit. So people in suits who try to look smooth. Popular culture might be an Italian gangster, Italian mobster. It might be an English royal. So you get these guys, right? It might be some guy trying to be a gentleman in a nice restaurant. So you have that. Now what happens when they work together to sabotage Christ? They're all dumb bitches. Why? Because they're creating a society of dumb bitches whose offspring are going to be dumb bitches. Now you might not like these truths, but it's true. For example, if Donald Trump told a child molester to go rape your child, would you say, so he could look good? Would that be smart? That'd be fucking retarded. It'd be a fucking disgrace. So if an Italian mobster, and I'm not saying they're heavily involved, slightly involved, certainly involved to some degree, okay, and a pretty boy in a nice restaurant in a suit, is trying to be cooler than a nerd, and, English royals all got together and say, hey, let's go use nerds and gays to ruin things so we seem superior. That is a dumb bitch move. That is fucking bitch. That is fucking bitch, and they're a disgrace to themselves in the eyes of God. They're a disgrace to their families. They're disgracing their families. And their families are probably a disgrace to them. Think about it. Now some of you are like, man, he's offending everybody. The truth hurts. How did we get in this mess? Was it some homeless guy, some homeless black guy or Hispanic guy? Hey guys, they contributed to some degree, yeah. But there's a bunch of nerds, right? Elon Musk became a trillionaire recently. Larry and Sergey, from Google. Okay, Larry Ellison, Zuckerberg. These guys are nerds. And they use their money to social engineer, and they're in groups of nerds. And then there's guys in suits who split the pie with them, who aren't so nerdy, who are trying to take advantage of the situation. Now, whether or not the guys in the suits are the main ones doing it and they're orchestrating it, or the nerds are the main ones doing it, they're the main ones who seek to benefit from it. So when the world's going to hell and you're one of the main groups that's this social engineering, okay, is it a fucking disgrace? Yes. When the churches, Catholic Church, Protestant, Orthodox, when they try to sing, okay, they try to seem appealing in the midst of nerds and gays ruining everything for other people, teamed up with other people, what have you? Are they dumb fucking bitches? Yes. If you're a dumb fucking bitch, can you be what is like the direct opposite of that? A righteous and holy person? No. Therefore, the religious institutions are full of dumb fucking bitches instead of people who deserve to be teaching about God. There is no other way to look at it. So why am I being shunned? Well, I think at first glance, most people would say, well, because females are dumb. Because no matter what's going on, you don't shun Jesus, right? So most people would kind of chop it up to that. But there are people who've used psychology for generations, and they've bred a bunch of dumb bitches. I'm not the first person who's been shunned in American history, Western history, world history. Okay? There's a bunch of people who've been shunned because of these eugenicists, right? Who were people who often tried to look like the who's who in society. They would see the spectrum of nerds, and they try to look more cool than the average nerd, what have you. That is the situation. I went way over time. I was going to make this a brief video. I was just going to say, hey, nerds are basically dumb bitches, and that's why dating's ruined. But there's these other components I wanted to make sure I touched on. Now, the purpose of this video isn't to insult, anybody per se. If you deserve to be insulted, you deserve to be insulted, right? Who am I to avoid that, right? God wants you to be insulted, you deserve to be insulted. But the point of this video is to explain what's going on. If the problem was immigrants, then I would say it was immigrants. If it was homeless people, I'd say it was homeless people. If it was black people, I'd say it was black people, and so on and so forth. But the problem, first and foremost, is white, Jewish, and LGBT elitists. They're nerds. They're people like Prince Harry trying to seem all, handsome and so on and so forth. And everyone sees to that and they look so stupid. You know what was the most, I'll end by saying this, you know what was the most mocked funeral in my lifetime? The funeral where people were actually coming out saying good riddance. It was Queen Elizabeth. It wasn't some immigrant's funeral. It wasn't some homeless person's funeral. Wasn't, George Bush Sr. Okay? It was Queen fucking Elizabeth. Because your stupid game doesn't work and you look fucking retarded.